Hey everyone, welcome to our third nutrition lesson, which is all about fat, fiber, and water, FFW. Now, the reason that it's important to talk about these elements is because they are essential to the functions of our body. They help keep fluids stable, they help keep you full and satisfied, and they help keep your hormones regulated, which is huge, especially if you're looking to build muscle or lose fat. So we're gonna get started talking all about fat. Contrary to popular diets back in the 50s and 60s and 70s, low-fat diets have been debunked, right? We need fat in our diet to help you feel full and to help keep your hormones balanced and satiated. Your hormones balanced and to help you feel satiated. So keep in mind, fat as opposed to protein and carbohydrates, the other two macronutrients, fat carries 9 calories per 1 gram of food, okay? Versus carbs and fats, carbs and protein, which carry 4 calories per gram. So fat carries a big punch for a little amount. So men and women want to take in anywhere between 45 to 60, 65, 70 grams of fat in their diet per day, depending on your goals, depending on what works for you. So today we're going to talk about a couple different types of fats, right? Not all fats are created equal, much like carbohydrates. We have poly and monosaturated fats, which are healthier fats, and then we have trans fats and saturated fats, which are fats that we want to try and stay away from as best as we can because they raise all bad sort of blood levels and they clog up our arteries, and a little bit of them is okay, but too much in excess could cause health issues down the line. So let's talk a little bit about poly and monosaturated fats and sort of the sources that you can get from there. So things like olive oil, avocados, olives, walnuts, pumpkin seeds, nut butters. What else do we have? Flaxseed, fatty fishes like salmon and tuna are great sources of these healthier fats. Soy milk, tofu are also good sources. They're not as harmful as trans fats, but again, they shouldn't take up too much of your diet in the sense of you want to keep a more balanced diet as well between your poly and your monosaturated fats. And then you want to limit your consumption of trans fats and saturated fats. So let's talk about trans fats and saturated fats. So trans fats are things like fats that you'll find in like commercially produced like pastries, cookies, breads. They're preservatives, fried foods, margarine, packaged snacks like crackers and microwave popcorn and chips like that. So saturated fat, so that was trans fats. Saturated fat comes from red meat, chicken skin, whole fat dairy products, cheeses, lard, and tropical oils such as coconut oil. So while obviously we're consuming these types of foods, especially if you're eating red meat or if you like to eat ice cream, just keep in mind to limit this type of saturated fat in your diet, where most of your fat should come from poly and monosaturated fats. So that's a word on fat. Fat is not the enemy, kind of like carbs. I found that fats help keep my hormones balanced, especially as a woman. It helps reduce my cravings. It helps me feel more full. It helps me feel more satiated. So on days where I might eat a higher fat diet, I'll reduce the amount of carbs that I'm eating, and sort of like vice versa, kind of like a seesaw. So if you're eating a little bit more carbs one day, maybe you're having a harder training day, you need a little bit more energy from that sugar source, then you can limit your fat intake. Contrary other way, if you're eating a little bit more fat one day, you can eat a little bit less carbohydrates. So play around with different fat sources. I love avocados, olive oils, olives, sometimes nuts, depending on if my stomach feels good with them. But really start to play around with how much fat you need and different types of fat sources. So next, let's talk about fiber. Fiber is super, super important for our diets. They help bind to food and excrete out of our bowels. They help keep us full, and most fiber-rich foods have lots of nutrients that we want in our diet. The average American diet, because it is so processed, lacks a ton of fiber. So most men and women aren't even achieving sort of the standard goals of dietary fiber that we need. So for women, dietary fiber recommendations from the USDA is about 25 to 30 grams per day. And for men, that goes up to 35 to 40 grams per day. I like to consume more fiber than 25 grams per day. I do really well with 35 grams, sometimes 40. And it just makes me feel better, makes me feel more full. I'm going to the bathroom more regularly. And it just something that you definitely want to start paying a little bit more attention to, especially if you have fat loss goals, okay? Fiber not only helps move everything out of the system, but again, much like fat, it helps you stay full and feel full. So it helps with weight management and maintenance. So ways to increase your fiber intake into your diet: adding more fruits and vegetables to your diet. I'm going to preface it with more vegetables than fruits. Fruits do have more sugar and carbohydrates. Some of them do have fiber. But vegetables, things like lots of green vegetables, spinach, asparagus, Swiss chard, collard greens, bok choy, zucchini, green peas, snap peas, carrots, all those have a ton of fiber relative to their carbohydrate content, and they have a ton of vitamins, a ton of nutrients that you're going to benefit from. So adding one fruit or vegetable to every meal is a great way to add fiber. Oatmeal also packs a good punch of fiber. You can always start your day with a little bit of oatmeal, or you can have it as a pre or post workout meal to help fuel your workouts. Meal prepping at home versus eating out, you're going to get a lot more fiber from eating at home, whole cooked, minimally processed foods, versus eating out, say like burgers, fries, steaks. If you are going to eat out, try and add a side of steamed vegetables or a side salad and start your meal with that, so that you know you're getting your fiber in, you know you're filling up on healthy foods, and then you can proceed with your burgers and your fries or your Thai food or whatever else you're eating. What else? A great source of fiber is also beans and legumes. So lentils, kidney beans, even nuts have fiber in them. Make sure to drink a lot of water, not overdo it with water, but make sure that you're drinking water on a regular basis. And we'll talk about this at the end of this, this lecture here. So that the water can help flush through the fiber, especially coming from beans. And then another way to add in more fiber, this goes along with eating more fruits and vegetables. The skin on fruits, particularly pears and apples and grapes and peaches and plums and prunes, that is where the nutrients and the fiber content is. So don't peel your fruits, wash them really, really well. There are fruit washes out there that have a little bit of soap, or you can just do a little drop of soap in with your water when you wash your fruits and veggies. But don't skip on the skin. It's really, really good for you. Lots of vitamins, lots of nutrients, and lots of fiber. Lastly, let's talk about water intake. Water is so important. I have had clients whose whole health regimen, mood, motivation, sleep, stress levels have changed drastically by just increasing water into their diets. Water is critical for maintaining your fluid balance in all of your systems, your respiratory system, your digestive system, your endocrine system, your all the other systems of your body, like your blood system, right? So if you are dehydrated, your body won't be able to function appropriately. If you are going for fat loss, you need water to flush out the fat that gets secreted by your blood cells, secreted from your cells into your bloodstream, right? If your cells are getting rid of fat and there's no fluid to flush them out, well, guess where they go? They get reabsorbed back into your cells. So water is crucial for fat loss as well. The USDA recommends 2.5 liters on average, about 2.5 liters of water per day for females, and about 3.5 liters on average for males per day. Now that's going to change depending on what climate you're in. If you're in warmer climates, that you're going to need a little bit more water. If you're in colder climates, you may not be consuming as much water. But I've got some ideas for you guys for ways to incorporate more water into your diet. So some things that have worked for me and for my clients, I have like 3 water bottles around my house. I have one in my bedroom, I have one in my living room, and I have one in my kitchen. Whenever I see it, I kind of just pick it up and take a sip. I'll like walk around the house and I'll place it back down. I'll see another water bottle throughout the day and I'll grab it and I'll take a sip. It's just, when I see it, it reminds me to take a sip of water and to drink. Another way that I remember to drink more water is I download a drink water reminder app on my phone. So I'm always on my phone, right, working. I see that reminder, take a sip of water. If you don't actually like how water tastes, you can make flavored water. So there's like a ton of just really easy, clean, flavorful recipes for water that you can make. You can throw in mint, basil, rosemary. You can add fruit to that. So pineapple, strawberries, blueberries, lemon, lime. You can really jazz up your water. I like to put it in a pretty pitcher in my fridge or even on the counter and drink through that throughout the day. Other creative ways to get more water is making ice pops, right? So you could do fruit pops, like blend a little bit of fruit, add some water, make ice pops, especially in the summer. That's going to be great. Try not to go for the commercially produced ice pops. They have a little bit more sugar, but try and get some natural sugar from like pineapple, strawberries, blueberries, and make your own ice pops. Another way to get a little bit more water will be to consume more vegetables and more fruits. And we talked about that with fiber. So hopefully, by incorporating more fruits and vegetables, you're getting your fiber and you're getting your water. So 2 birds with 1 stone. Okay, guys, that's all I have for you today. FFW, fat, fiber, and water are essential to your health, your bodily functions, and to helping you reach your fitness goals. I hope that you enjoyed today's lesson, and I will see you soon. Bye.